In this video, let's look at 10 Excel tips which will make you an expert in Microsoft Excel. What if you are working in Microsoft Excel and you have to fill a series of numbers from 1 to 1000? Going by the traditional way, you will select these two numbers, then grab the fill handle, drag and drag and drag and drag until you reach 1000, then stop there. And it will consume a lot of your time. So there is a quick way of filling the series of numbers. Select your first number in the series, click on the cell, then click on the home tab. There is this editing menu here. Click on fill series, click on series and select columns here. Select your step value as 1 and stop value as 1000. Click on OK and here is your series of numbers from 1 to 1000. Alternatively, you can also fill the series in rows. Just select your first number, click on the home tab, go to editing option here, click on fill, click on series and select rows here. Again select your step value as 1 and stop value as 1000 for example. Click on OK and here is your series of numbers in the row. You can also use the keyboard shortcut key Alt-H-F-I-S to open the fill series dialog box. Fill the dialog box as usual. Then click on OK and you will get your series of numbers. The fill series dialog box will also help me to fill a date series. For example, I have 1st Jan 2021 here. For column A, I will give the date formatting. I will click on home tab and select date format here. Then I will click on this cell A1 here which contains the date. Then click on home tab, go to the editing section here, click on fill, click on series. Then select columns in the series dialog box. Step value as 1 and stop value as 1st of Jan 2023 for example. I will click on OK and you can see that I will get the date series from 1st Jan 2021 till 1st Jan 2023. To go to the last date in the series, I will press Ctrl and down arrow on the keyboard. So here is the last date in the series, 1st of Jan 2023. If you don't know how to calculate the cumulative or running total of your data like monthly sales figures, profit figures or the like, don't worry. Select your entire range of data, then click on the quick analysis toolbar or press Ctrl Q on your keyboard. Then click on totals, then click on the right arrow here, then click on running total icon where the arrow points rightwards. Okay, you have got your running total. Now what if your data is arranged horizontally like this? Again select your entire range of data, then click on the quick analysis toolbar or press Ctrl Q on your keyboard. Click on totals, click on the right arrow here, then click on running icon where the arrow points downwards. Great, you have got your cumulative sales figures in the next row. Many times what happens is that you are working in Excel and when you scroll down in your Excel workbook, you lose track of which column represents what because the column headings are no longer there when you scroll down. Similarly, same can happen when scrolling horizontally in your Excel workbook. When you have a row heading for each row in your Excel workbook and you scroll horizontally, you lose track of which row represents what. So to solve this problem, the freeze pens option in Microsoft Excel comes very handy. To freeze the first row and first column, click on cell B2 here, then click on view tab, click on freeze pens, freeze pens. Now you can see that the top row has been freezed by Excel. It will remain there when you scroll down. Similarly, the first column has been freezed by Excel. It will remain there when you scroll horizontally. Now what if you want to freeze first two rows and first two columns? To do so, you have to select cell C3 which is at the intersection of third row and third column. Then click on view tab, click on freeze pens, freeze pens. Now you can see that Excel has freezed first two rows when you scroll vertically, and when you scroll horizontally you can see that Excel has freezed first two columns here. Now if you want to only freeze first row, then click on the view tab, click on freeze pens, then click on freeze top row. It will freeze the top row only. Again, if you only want to freeze the first column, then again click on the view tab, click on freeze pens, then click on freeze first column. And when you scroll horizontally, you will see that it has frozen your first column. Your first column stays there when you scroll horizontally. Here I have some data in Microsoft Excel and I want to insert multiple blank rows. For example, I want to insert 5 blank rows from row number 8. Going by the traditional method, what I will do is I will select this entire row, then right click, click on insert. Again do the same. I will do this 5 times because I have to insert 5 blank rows. Don't do this because it is the inefficient method. Instead, what you will do is you will select 5 rows here, then right click, click on insert, and Excel will insert 5 blank rows at once. Merged cells in Microsoft Excel create a whole bunch of problems for you. So you always want to make sure that there are no merged cells in your Excel worksheet. But what if you receive an Excel worksheet from your colleague which contains a lot of merged cells in it? To remove the merged cells in one instance, press Ctrl H on the keyboard, then select Format, then select merged cells here, click on OK, then click on Find All. Then press Ctrl A on the keyboard to select all the instances of merged cells, then close the dialog box. Then again uncheck the Merge and Center feature. So you can see that all the merged cells have been unmerged here. So this is how you can remove merged cells in Microsoft Excel. Can you guess a feature in Microsoft Excel which you should try to avoid as much as possible? Well, it is the merge cells feature. Watch the video till end because there is a great alternative out there. The reason you should avoid this feature is that merged cells in your worksheet create a lot of problems for you. They create problems for you when you have to sort and filter your data, or when you have to create a pivot table, or when you have to use macros. So there are a whole lot of problems associated with merged cells. But at the same time, merged cells allow you to center your text across a selection of cells, which gives a nicer look to your worksheet. So you may wonder whether there is any alternative to merged cells. The center across selection feature in Microsoft Excel is an alternative. Just select your range of cells in which you want to center your text. Then click on the Home tab, then click on the bottom right corner here in the alignment group. Then in the horizontal this drop down list, click on Center Across Selection. Click on OK. And you can see that your text gets centered, but in this case these are two different cells. It gives the same effect as merged cells would give without all the disadvantages of merged cells. Now what if you have merged cells in your Excel worksheet and you want to find them and unmerge them? To find a merged cell, click Ctrl F on your keyboard, then click on the Format button here, click on Merge Cells, click on OK, then click on Find Next. It will find the next merged cell. Click on it and click on Merge and Center to unmerge the cell. Then click somewhere outside these unmerged cells. Again click on Find Next. Then again click on Merge and Center to unmerge the cells. So this is how you can find merged cells in Excel and unmerge them. To change the format of numbers from general to currency format, select the numbers, then press Ctrl, Shift and $sign on the keyboard. It will change the format from general to currency. In the same way, to change the format of numbers from general to percentage, select the range of cells, then press Ctrl, Shift and percentage on the keyboard. It will change the format to percentage. To change the format from general to number format with decimal places and 1000 separators, select the cells, then press Ctrl, Shift and note of exclamation. You can see that there is 1000 separator here and 2 decimal places. To change the format from number to date, select the range of cells, then press Ctrl, Shift and hash on the keyboard. In the same way, to change the format from number to time, select the range of cells that contain the number, then press Ctrl, Shift and @ on the keyboard. Now to get back to the general formatting, select the range, then press Ctrl, Shift and $sign on the keyboard. Now finally, an extra tip here: if you want to increase or decrease the decimal place in your number series, select your number series, then click on the increase decimal or decrease decimal in the number group under Home tab. Locking cells in Excel is useful when you share an Excel template with other people and ask them to fill certain data in certain cells without making changes in other cells. To protect your worksheet from any accidental or deliberate changes, go to the Review tab, click on Protect Sheet and checkmark Protect Worksheet and Content of Locked Cells. You can also specify a password here, but make sure that you remember it, otherwise Excel won't let you recover your password. Click OK. Now when you try to make any changes in any of the cells, Excel will display a message. The cell or chart you are trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make a change, unprotect the sheet. You might be requested to enter a password. So this is the message Excel displays when you try to modify the content of any cells. By default, all the cells in Microsoft Excel are locked. To check this, select all the cells here by clicking on this arrow here, then right click, format cells, protection, and here you will see that locked is check marked here. That means all of these cells are locked. Now when you protect the worksheet, you will not be able to modify the content of any of these cells because all of them are locked and you have protected the worksheet. For example, I try to modify the content of this cell here. The message is the cell or chart you are trying to change is in a protected sheet. Now what if you have a template like I have this one here and you want to share it among your colleagues and ask them to fill certain fields in the template while making sure that they don't make any accidental or deliberate changes in other fields. To do so, select the cells in which you want your colleagues to make any changes, then right click, click on format cells, unlock them, click on OK, then protect the worksheet. Now when you or any of your colleagues wants to make any changes in these two fields, they will be able to make changes. However, when they try to make changes in other fields, they will not be able to make any changes because those cells are locked and you have protected the worksheet. To calculate the age of a person from his date of birth, use the year frac function. Press equal to year frac, open parenthesis, then start date. Start date is your date of birth, comma, end date. End date is today, so use the today function. Then close the parenthesis and hit enter. So this is the age of the person from his date of birth. Now you can see that the age is a decimal number. So if you want to convert the number into a whole number, use the int function. You can put the year frac function within the int function. So use int here, open parenthesis, then a parenthesis at the close of the function and press enter. You can see here that the year frac function has an optional argument called basis that controls how days are counted when computing fractional years. The default behavior is to count days between two dates based on a 360-day year, where all 12 months are considered to have 30 days. I will go with the default here and hit enter. So this is how you can calculate age of a person from his date of birth in Microsoft Excel. Let's take a look at how we can combine different Excel worksheets into a single worksheet. Many times while working in Microsoft Excel, you have identical data that is located on different worksheets and you want to basically combine that data into a single worksheet. So in this video, we will look how we can combine data from different worksheets into a single worksheet using the Power Query dialog box. In this example, I have data from 4 different regions: the central region, the east region, the south region, and the west region. The data is identical, but it is located on 4 different worksheets. To combine this data into a single worksheet, first of all, I need to convert the data on all the 4 worksheets into 4 different tables. To do so, I will select all the data, then I will press Ctrl T on keyboard and hit enter. I will convert data on all the 4 worksheets into Excel tables using the same process. Then I will create a new worksheet. After that, I will click on the data tab, then new query. Click on new query here. Then I will click on from other sources. Then I will click on blank query. It opens the blank query dialog box. Once the dialog box opens, there is this formula bar at the top of the dialog box. In the dialog box, I will enter a formula equal to excel.current workbook, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, then I will press enter. This function gets the list of all the tables from the current workbook. Table 1, Table 2, Table 3 and Table 4. These are the 4 tables in my current worksheet. Now I have to combine all the 4 tables. I will press on the button here. I will click on it. Then I will click on expand here and uncheck use original column name as headers. Then I will click on OK. Now you can see the expanded content here. Then I will click on close and load. And here you can see that the magic has just happened. All the data from all the 4 worksheets has been combined into a single worksheet. While using the Excel.workbook function, you should be cautious about the problem of recursion. Recursion means when an Excel function refers to itself. In this example, in the 4 worksheets, I have a total of 56 rows. But when you go to the worksheet you just loaded the data in through the Power Query dialog box, you will see that it has 75 rows. The reason is recursion, because when you open the query editor and then click on the sources button here, you will see that in addition to the 4 tables you already had in your worksheet, the Excel.current workbook has added another table, that is the query 1 table. You can exclude it by clicking on the drop down button here, then clicking on query 1 and unchecking it. You will click on OK and it will be excluded. Then you will click on close and load, and this time you only have 56 rows here because it has included data from only the 4 tables. So this is how you can combine data from multiple worksheets into a single worksheet. If you know any other method, let me know in the comment section. I hope this video was helpful. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. Keep supporting, subscribe the channel. Thanks for watching.